Yo team, what's good? What's good, team? Hold up, let me get some tunes going for everybody in here. We gotta get some music going. A lot of good music today. Found a ton of good music. Let's start with this. So, the topic. How does the internet work? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. How does the internet work? We're going over how the internet works. The metaphysics of the internet, if you will. I mean, you use the internet every single day. I mean, do you know how this works? Oh, you just get the router from Comcast or Verizon, and then your dad sets it up for you, and then boom, Facebook, the browser, it all works. Let me blow your mind real quick. Okay. The internet, physically speaking, is a bunch of wires run under the ocean. Under the ocean. Okay? There are wires run under the ocean. So, I'll give you a perfect example. When you type in www.youtube.com in your URL, in your address bar, and when you press enter, okay, here's the crazy part. When you press enter, the electricity goes through your keyboard, registers that key press, goes through the wire of your keyboard, into your computer's motherboard, which is essentially, your motherboard is just one very complex circuit. So it's listening to the keyboard for that electrical signal, grabs that electrical signal, okay, then communicates with the browser. Browser has the address bar. The address bar is then resolved more or less to an IP address, which is done by the DNS. We're not even going to talk about the DNS, because then we're going deep. Okay, we're not going that deep. But essentially, the electricity goes from your brain to your finger to the keyboard to the motherboard of your computer to maybe the Wi-Fi card or the Ethernet cable, depending on if you have a physical connection from your router to your computer. If not, it's a remote connection, okay, through a Wi-Fi, through a wireless card, basically. Then the router sends that off to a center, essentially, in the near the ocean, essentially. And that near the ocean, there's this little center, and that's where the cable goes out into the ocean and connects to other centers on other coasts, essentially. So the internet is physical. Like, if you were to cut these lines, snip snip, the internet wouldn't work anymore. So there is a physical internet. What's even crazier is that, so everything in the computer, as we know, is ultimately compiled down into ones and zeros. So this is gonna blow your mind. The ones and zeros, okay, can be reconstructed into anything you want. It can be reconstructed into the pixels on the screen. This video that I'm making right now can be broken down frame by frame into a series of ones and zeros, probably billions, trillions, even more ones and zeros, just to make one video. And essentially, so think about all the video that's online, right? But this single video is easily trillions of ones and zeros, if not more. So just let that sink in for a second, because there's probably a trillion videos out there. So what's a trillion times a trillion, right? That's how many bits are probably on the internet, more or less. So expanding on this idea even more, how does my video get from my computer to your computer, and not just your computer, anyone's computer who wants it, right? Well, that's a little bit more complicated, because we're going into YouTube as a hosting service. We're going into distributed services, which we're not actually going to talk about. We're just going to talk about this as if it was peer-to-peer. We're going to pretend that my computer, more or less, is YouTube's data center, Google's data center. So how it works is you request the video, and the video comes down as a response. Okay, so that response, so if you're over here in Japan and I'm over here in the United States, there's a wire connecting that underneath the ocean. Underneath the ocean, there's that wire. So how does the data get from this computer to this computer? So essentially it goes through that wire. That wire is a fiber optic cable. What does that mean? That means it's a glass cable that has all of these reflection points. So that means you can shine a light through that cable, and it will come out, and it will move at the speed of light and come out the other side. So you can shine light through one end, and it'll come out the other side, and the light will come out the other side. So essentially, there's a blinking light, a rapidly blinking light, in a way that you can't. It's so fast, it's incomprehensible. And when the light is on, it represents a 1, and when the light is off, it represents a 0. Okay? So essentially, there's this rapidly blinking light that represents all of the 1s and 0s in this video. Okay, so all the 1s and 0s are broken down, sent across this cable, across the ocean, received at this other center, this internet center, and then sent to your computer, reconstructed as this video on your screen right now. And this is happening right now as you're watching this video. Literally, it's happening. Real time. So all of what I just described to you is happening real time as you watch this video. What's even crazier is how it's all light and it's all electricity. It's all light and it's all electricity. That's what the craziest part of this whole thing is, right? When you're working on the level of light, things get crazy. And then you can do crazy things. That's why you can connect to a server across, the Atlantic Ocean, and it's like, and you're connecting to a game server across seas, and it's like only 100 milliseconds. It's only 100 milliseconds delay time, latency, because that's how long it takes for the 0s and 1s to deconstruct, travel as light, and then reconstruct as pixels on your screen, which then you absorb as light. And then you actually give feedback. So what's even crazier is if you were to then post a comment on this video or like this video, those bits get deconstructed down into ones, or that action or that representation of an action gets deconstructed down into the bits, sent as light, and reconstructed basically on YouTube's platform, which more or less is a distributed set of computers, which is too much to explain. Too much to explain how YouTube works right now, or like how major web apps work. Too much to explain. But I'm telling you guys how absolutely insane the internet is and how it works at a high level. That's a very high level understanding. I glazed over a lot of topics, but more or less that's how it works, which is one of the main reasons why I love being a hacker. I love being a programmer, and why computers are some of the most mind-blowing. It's the most mind-blowing invention that humans have ever made. The internet is the most mind-blowing invention, and computers are obviously like a subset of the internet. Um, the web. So essentially, just to recap, there are these centers all over the coasts, all across the world, and there's many, many, many wires. There are many wires. One of the most famous wires is the I2I. Okay, here, we'll actually look that up right now. So, we'll go and look at the I2I cable. Oh, we already heard this song. Let's listen to some funk. Yeah. Whoa. Sorry guys, I'm just setting this up on. I'm setting this up on OBS right now. Cool. Oh, you can see I was playing League of Legends. That's funny. Move that. Cool. So, here's the I2I. It's a submarine's telecommunications cable. That looks fun. And yeah, it connects India, Singapore, yeah, 8.4 terabits per second. That's wild. 8.4 terabits per second. And it spans 1,200 miles. If that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what will. This exists. This is real life. This isn't like... This isn't some weird... This isn't some weird science fiction stuff. This is real life. 8.4 terabits per second. That's crazy. Anyway, I'm not gonna bore you guys anymore with this stuff, but I just thought that it would be cool to kind of dive into that. Not many people know about it, and I mean, I love it, so figured I'd share it with you. So yeah, that's how the internet works. Peace out.